Most gold and silver stackers make this big mistake. There is one extremely common mistake most people stacking gold and silver make. There's more than one mistake people make, but this one mistake tends to be more common than others. This mistake is not subscribing to the Millstacks channel and falling in love with gold and silver's story. There is obviously signs of a bull market for gold and silver in order to convince yourself to start stacking gold and silver. That is great to understand and do the research for. Any investment doesn't have to be gold and silver, but today I'm focused on gold and silver bullion. I find once people decide gold and silver spot price will go up, they buy and they only look for information to fit the narrative they're looking for. This can be extremely misguiding as gold and silver are volatile assets and you can easily pick 2 points in history to show anything you are looking for. I see a lot of people neglecting extremely commonly understood facts because it proves their narrative wrong. An example of this would be people using today's mining ratio to say what the gold and silver ratio should be. We have been mining gold and silver for thousands of years, not just recently. One metal could have had a bad year, the other could have had a good year. Who knows? Things change every single year. It's the long-term ratio that really matters. Not to mention it doesn't account for any of the demand side of anything. It is only speaking of supply, and there is 2 factors, supply and demand, to drive price. Or how many people were talking about how silver supply would shrink because mines shutting down due to that thing that has been making the headlines lately going around. I can't mention it on here, but I'm just going to call it beaver fever for now. So when the world got beaver fever and the mines shut down, they delayed the supply that would be brought to the market until things open up. I believe gold and silver mining will come back strong at some point. Not going to say it's going to happen tomorrow or no, I'm not putting a time frame out, but I believe this, especially with silver, since silver is a byproduct of base metal mining. And how many countries are talking about infrastructure upgrades right now? Boom, the story isn't over. Just a couple examples of those stories have been brought up. They've been mentioned, they've been talked about, but the story isn't over with that. A temporary delay with the mines is just a small part of the mining picture, and that doesn't last forever. A lot of these things it's not sustainable to say you can't mine silver and this and this and this and this and this as they're trying to do all these infrastructure upgrades. Those 2 things just don't go hand in hand. Mines will need to open up. Governments will want it to open up because that's what they're all talking about. That's what they're all trying to push through. And I did make a video on this way before saying you might want to invest in infrastructure companies and stuff like that way back a year ago, because I was talking about how this is the most obvious solution to get people back working and everything like that. You could go check it out if you want. Stackers typically don't like to talk about things that affect their narrative in a bad way, that contradict their narrative, and I see a lot of neglect for those facts. We can't mistake a forest for one tree here or there. There's a lot more going on than just one simple fact here, one simple fact there, and you gotta be on the ball, think logically, think critically, question everything that you hear, including from me. Question everything I would say. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a random beaver on the internet. That being said though, just try not to get lost in the sauce. Don't lose yourself with the narrative that's being presented to you. You always gotta think critically, and once people convince themselves of something, it will take probably 10 times the amount of thought to change their minds. So I often do my best to hold myself accountable and debate myself about all investments I would make. That way, I can ensure I make the best decision possible. Unless you're thinking critically, you cannot make those decisions. if you can't listen to the other side of an argument, you're probably on the wrong side of an argument, the wrong side of a debate if you can't listen to the other side of it. And if you're still watching, put the hashtag BeaverDamnFam in the comments and hit that subscribe button, like this video, stay positive, and check out this video on how CPI is lying to us. Thank you so much, stay positive, see you next time.